Education and talent are two disciplines that seem to be so different and seem to differ from each other so much. But did you know that these two things are related closely? And this is how they are related. Education is something that a student studies in school, let's say, for example, from class 1 to class 8, then from 4, campus, finishes school, graduates, gets a job. But talent is whereby a student majors on a certain activity that is so good in. And after some times, he starts earning from the activity. The activities can be football, volleyball, and whichever, anything to do with those talents and stuff. But this is how these two disciplines are related. At some point, you may find out that a student can be so good in class, but be so poor in talent. And in that way, this guy will not apply this talent anywhere. Nah, it will never help him in life because he doesn't have the talent. But when it comes to talent and academics, a student may be so good in talent, or may be having a certain talent, but be so poor in class. Now, this student, he may find it difficult at some point to express his talent because academics opens ways for somebody. Academics is just something like an eye opener that will give this student an opportunity to show off his talents. Because it is through in school, this guy will go to tournaments, go to sports activities, go to whichever competitions, and through there, different people will see the talent of these students. But assuming that this student was very poor academically, and he studies for some time, then drops out of school, goes back to the village, starts doing some other stuffs, and some other job that are not related to academics, and he enters and starts to do construction work, and whichever starts to ride something like boda boda. I'm not trying to say that boda boda business is bad, because so long as it gives somebody a living, then it is not bad. It is good, because I've seen successful people who has broken the matrix through boda boda riding. But now, these students back in the village, after he has majored into those other things that are not related to academics, this guy may tend to forget that he had a talent, and may start even doing some other things in life that may make him not to venture into his talent again. But now, here comes this student who has a talent and performs well in class. This guy finishes primary. Let's say, for example, in primary, you are not exposed to different tournaments or friendly matches as you do in high school. And the same applies to high school and campus. In high school, you're not exposed to many tournaments and clubbing activities to do with sports the way you can be exposed to in campus, because those guys in campus even play with the guys from big clubs that play for the national teams actually. So you find out that this guy who had a talent and was very good in class finishes primary. If he wasn't identified in primary, he goes to high school. If he don't become identified in high school, he proceeds to campus. And in campus, he may get an opportunity to play against some national teams. And this may open a way for him. And you find that he has broken through that matrix now. He starts earning from his talents. Unlike this guy who had dropped out in class 8 or in high school before getting to be exposed to these clubs that may employ him. So, I'm not trying to say that talent is bad. And I'm not trying to say that academics is bad. Both of them are good. And I think it's advisable that if a student is good in academics, the student is not good in talent, that one is an understanding case. But if a student has a talent, let's say for example a student is a very good football player, is a very good volleyball player, and anything to do with those sporting activities, it is advised that he should also try to be good in academics at least, so that these academics will open a way for him so that he can be exposed to different platforms that may help him venture or nurture his talent well. Thanks for taking your time to listen to me.